Jim Barnett, Greg Papa back inside the San Jose Arena. Looks like a little larger crowd than usual for the 76ers only Bay Area appearance. There's their starting lineup, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. The Spoon, Clarence Weatherspoon, will start at small forward. Derek Coleman will start at power forward, and Scott Williams will make the start at center. In the backcourt, Allen Iverson, the NBA's leading rookie scorer at better than 22 points a game, and the 8th overall leading scorer, alongside Jerry Stackhouse, who was their second top scorer at 18.5 points a game. New head coach for the 76ers, Johnny Davis, named June the 10th to take over for John Lucas. 76ers in November 7-8, including a pair of wins over the Knickerbockers and one over Miami. But December was very rough. They won just one game, lost 12, and they have lost 13 of their last 14 games. Warriors starting lineup tonight. Warriors come in with an overall record of 11-18. They have won 3 of their last 4. Chris Mullin at small forward, Joe Smith power forward. Todd Fuller will make his second consecutive start for the injured Felton Spencer. Felton, a bruised left foot, is out of the lineup again tonight. B.J. Armstrong will make his first start of the season tonight at point guard for the Warriors. Mark Price started the first 29 games. Latrell Sprewell, of course, will start at the off-guard position. We asked Rick Adelman moments before the lineups were announced about the Mark Price change in the lineup. We reported when we first got on the air that it was a groin injury for Price. Mark has been hobbled a bit, but Rick said that was not the reason that Price is not starting tonight. And when I asked him what the reason was, he said, "I don't want to talk about it." So we'll delve into this more in the coming days, certainly. But Price will play off the bench, and BJ will start in the backcourt with Sprewell against Iverson. And not to be overlooked, Jerry Stackhouse, Jim, who finished 4th in the Rookie of the Year balloting last year, behind Stoudemire, Sabonis, and the Warriors' Joe Smith. And he's having a more difficult sophomore year than his rookie year.
And I thought that he would flourish alongside Allen Iverson, but clearly he is struggling. He led this team in scoring at 19.2 points per game last year, was only a 41% shooter, but this year he's shooting at 38%, very much where he was last year from three-point range. He's a very streaky shooter, but he can put the ball on the floor and go to the basket. Let's see how B.J. Armstrong responds tonight in his first start. Remember how he played so well after Hardaway was benched last year, and he went to the starting lineup, and career-wise, his numbers are way up as a starter as opposed to when he comes off the bench.
Last year he started the final 63 games of the season and helped turn his year around. BJ has been playing better of late, but tonight he gets maybe the supreme defensive challenge in the NBA against the answer, Allen Iverson. Most observers who have seen this guy play say that he may be the quickest guy in the NBA, baseline to baseline with the dribble, and also in the half court. Former NBA player Leon Wood will referee tonight, along with Ed Middleton and Bruce Alexander. The Warriors win the tip, and they will go first.
Derek Coleman didn't even jump against Todd Fuller. He never left the floor.
And he's 20 pounds lighter than he was last year, playing at about 260. Sprewell, a three-pointer to open Joe Smith. No foul. Good play inside by Scott Williams, out of bounds off the Sixers. Also Derek Coleman inside to Hassel. Coleman is having a terrific season.
And Joe Smith crashes the offensive glass immediately tonight,
which is always a good sign. During the last 4 games, his offensive rebounding numbers are up significantly. Scott Williams, the former Chicago Bull, defending Fuller. Todd goes away. And now BJ against Iverson. Beats him and gets the basket to give the Warriors a 2-0 lead. Iverson last year was the Big East Defensive Player of the Year. In fact, he was that conference's top defender both of his years at Georgetown, both his freshman and sophomore years. Here's Clarence Weatherspoon. Tough matchup from Mullin. He gets help from Fuller, and it goes to Scott Williams, and he scores. Scott, not a big part of their offense, scores about 5.5 points a game. He's backed up by the veteran Michael Cage.
Yeah, they really don't have a center look because Williams is a 4 and a 5. That shot was blocked by Coleman. Coleman can play defense when he puts his mind to it. He's got tremendously long arms.
Well, he can do anything, Jim, when he puts his mind to it. Apparently he is going after it a bit harder. Scott Williams with the first 2 hits of the game for the 76ers.
He's had 3 knee operations since he arrived from the Bulls in '94. Only played 11 games last year. Or 13 games, pardon me.
That was the number that Coleman played last year, only 11. Joe Smith able to get a foul on the drive. Foul is on Derek Coleman, his first foul of the game. Sprewell up over Jerry Stackhouse, and the rebound pulled by Derek Coleman. Here's Allen Iverson wearing number 3. The pick from Williams. Todd Fuller switching out. Another shot by Scott Williams. This one's a brick off the backboard. Mullen left wide open. Mullen could have a good game tonight, a big game. Clarence Witherspoon is matching up. Witherspoon goes 6'7", 240 pounds, much more of an inside player than Chris Mullen is.
And I like the way that Sprewell just waited a little bit and let Mullen get into the action.
Jerry Stackhouse knocks down the shot. Stackhouse has had a poor year shooting the ball, 38% as opposed to 41% his rookie season. Into Joe Smith again. 76ers not doubling him. He's waiting for the double, and he lost the ball. Saves the possession out to Sprewell for a 3. Rebound Todd Fuller. Sprewell nicely done on the pass out from Fuller. Here goes Iverson, helped out by Sprewell. B.J. Armstrong was. Sprewell shot it. Stackhouse a 3, and he knocks it down. 76ers lead by a score of 9-6. Stackhouse has 5 points. Iverson yet to shoot the ball in the game's first 3 minutes. Here's a switch now. Witherspoon picks up Joe. Boy, they got that move scouted. Jerry Stackhouse will go in. Lost the ball! Well, he told me before the game, Jim, there's no such thing as a bad turnover. This was a bad turnover.
Well, probably said there's no such thing as a good turnover. But yes, that was a very bad turnover because clearly he was on his way to an easy basket, thinking about dunking the ball, just kind of lost the handle on the way up, and that will happen.
Michael Cage checks in for the 76ers right away. There's a basket by the spinning Sprewell.
That was a move of finesse and strength at the end. You can get easy shots against the Sixers. Already the Warriors are looking to score in the paint.
Stackhouse poked away by Sprewell, a near turnover. The ball went out of bounds off of Sprewell.
2 good athletes, just about the same size. They'll be chasing each other all night long.
Last year it was Chris Mullen that guarded Jerry Stackhouse in a 2-game Warriors sweep over the Sixers and forced Stackhouse into a rash of turnovers. A 3 by Jerry from the corner goes, his second 3 of the early game. Stackhouse now with 44 threes, Jim. 31% from beyond the line coming into the game.
I don't think Sprewell can afford to really help out if Iverson drives now. He cannot leave Stackhouse, particularly the way he's knocked down his first 2 threes.
Mullen 3 over Witherspoon.
Yeah, the deeper Mullen gets, it's really going to disrupt Witherspoon at the defensive end. He does not want to go out beyond those lines.
Here's Iverson's first pop of the game. He makes a 3. This could be a fun one tonight. Both these clubs would prefer to play up-tempo.
Well, up-tempo is going to hurt, going to help the Warriors, just like Dallas up-tempo did.
Mullen, as Witherspoon could not get over the screen in time. Mullen's hit his first 3. He has 7 quick ones. Yet the Sixers lead by 2. Iverson by B.J. throws it away wildly over his head. That's his first turnover of the game, and Philly's second, including the botch by Stackhouse.
That is a bad turnover. I mean, this pass didn't have a chance at all, and he didn't have to make it that difficult.
Mullen thought about it, then fired. Oh. Not only has he not missed, he's not yet touched the rim. Mullen, who is the NBA's #4 floor shooter and #5 three-point shooter, has hit his first 4 shots tonight. Iverson, the Warriors are helping beautifully on his penetration. Again, Sprewell slides over. 2 guys jump at him, and Iverson gets the roll. Almost touched on the rim there, but it was not.
B.J. Armstrong was talking to assistant coach George Irvin before the game and say, what do I do with Iverson? And he said, I really can't give you a good scouting report because he does so many different things, and it just comes from different angles. There's an air ball by Spree.
After he was defended by the center, Michael Cage, he decided to fling up a three-pointer. Timeout called. Mullen has hit his first 4. He has 9 of the Warriors' 15, but they're down a hoop.
Chris Mullen off to a great start. And it's just simple, basic basketball. Run along the baseline, a staggered screen, double screen as it was. And Weatherspoon is having a difficult time fighting through them.
Warriors have hit their first 3. Or pardon me, the Sixers have hit the first 3 from beyond the line. 2 made by Stackhouse. Coleman gets inside. Good defense by Joe Smith. Ed Middleton calls a foul on Joe.
That play right there really illustrated how long the arms of Derek Coleman are. Watch this. In fact, this will be a perfect angle. See him going up? He's got about 6 inches on Joe Smith just because of the arm reach.
There goes Stackhouse. Now matched up with Sprewell. Coleman. And the extra bounce cost Todd Fuller a defensive rebound. Rebound pulled by Michael Cage. He throws high, pulled down by Stackhouse. And he drives it right away.
I thought we were going to get one. Almost came into our laps.
Cage with a bad shot. Rebound tip. Almost in, but no. Coleman twice. First it was Stackhouse. Coleman the save right to Joe. Warriors race out. Iverson back by his lonesome. Oh, he made the play. You mentioned this is the Warrior-type tempo. It's also Philadelphia's tempo. They have some great athletes on this club.
Now Iverson knows he's at a disadvantage 2-on-1, so he just commits to BJ. Doesn't worry about the other side. He thought he could take care of it, and he did.
Warriors run some great inbounds plays as Sprewell pops quickly. Warriors have hit 8 of their first 14 shot. Philly 7 of their first 11. Illegal defense called on the Warriors. Looks like it's on Todd Fuller.
Yeah, they're going to run a lot of isolation with Stackhouse, Iverson, particularly as the game progresses. And Iverson will simply go off on his own.
Inside to Stackhouse. Sprewell, what a play defensively. He was fronting and went over his reach. He recovered to block the shot. Mullen, a 5th shot. 5 for 5 for Mullen. We're going to have to make a switch.
Well, they're finding
Clarence Weatherspoon can't find him.
No, they're finding the hot man, and that's what transition again. Mullen is perfect for transition because he comes down and people don't see him just coming down at the last moment. He may not be the first down the court, but he's a good option.
Here's Weatherspoon now trying to attack Mullen on the other end. Out to Stackhouse for a 3. His first miss. Good rebound by Derek Coleman. Has the ball punched away by Armstrong. Coleman will also commit his share of turnovers. Joe bobbled the ball, tipped out by Philly. The Warriors will keep it.
The Sixers will crash the offensive glass. It's a good rebounding team. I know it concerns Rick Adelman because his team is not a strong rebounding team, but if the Warriors get the ball and run, their offense flows.
Joe Smith's first 2 points of the game, a 10-2 Warrior run, and they have a lead of 4 with 4 minutes to play in this opening quarter.
I'm surprised they're not posting up Weatherspoon against Mullen. He is a terrific post-up player and very strong. He played center in college at Southern Miss.
Iverson fouled as he went up. And B.J. Armstrong will pick up the violation, his first foul of the game. What a play a moment ago by Sprewell.
Well, first of all, there was nobody else to help. And he not only blocked the ball, but he chased it down, little bounce pass right along the sideline to B.J., and he found Chris Mullen. On the weak side, Michael Cage, the center, was trying to get back to position and just simply could not reach him.
Allen Iverson, the NBA's Rookie of the Month in November, and now he is the hunted. Wherever he goes, people want to send a message to the rookie. Stackhouse on the second missed free throw. Mullen the rebound. Up the floor to Sprewell. Weatherspoon back. Sprewell gets himself on the line.
Great outlet pass for Mullen. Baseline, past the half court. This is playing to a player's strengths. Is there anybody in the league other than Michael Jordan better at coming one-on-one on a player? I mean, you just know the defender is at a disadvantage when Spree comes at you.
Those were Spree's numbers in the 104-95 loss last Saturday night. 5 days off for the Warriors since their last game. That loss in Houston broke their 3-game winning streak, but the Warriors are playing very well since beginning of the year at 3-10, Jim. The Warriors have played .500 basketball. They have won 8 and they have lost 8 to take their overall record now to 11-18. Good rebound by Joe Smith. Fighting with it, goes up and puts it in with Cage and Coleman clawing at him.
Uncharacteristically, Sprewell misses both free throws, but it doesn't hurt him because Smith puts it back in.
Adelman likes what he sees so far, and likewise for all of us watching it. It's been fun. Warriors against the 76ers of Iverson and Stackhouse. Iverson leading the NBA in turnovers this season as a rookie, and Stackhouse a pretty healthy total of almost 4 turnovers per game. Last year he committed 3.5 turnovers a game. And prior to the game, we sat down with Stackhouse and we asked him about the turnovers on this team. 76ers do lead the league in turnovers.
I think so. I think that's my main focus right now is to try to get my field goal percentage over. I'm scoring, but I like to be more efficient in that. I'm never really concerned about turnovers. I think a lot of, I don't think that there's really a such thing as a good turnover, but I think that Allen and my turnovers are turnovers of being aggressive on offense and being able to take it, and we create a lot. And I think that, when you're that type of player, all those guys are turnovers are up there. You take Grant Hill, take Michael Jordan. Those guys, their turnovers are not publicized as much because they're just not.
Sixers so far in the game have committed 3 turnovers. The Warriors only 1, and the Warriors lead by 5 points. Shot clock down to 6 on this Sixer possession. Shot's going to have to go up from Coleman at bank. And the rebound pulled by Michael Cage. A relentless rebounder who's not playing very much. 3-pointer way out there by Allen Iverson.
That's how an offensive rebound can hurt you. Commenting about what Stackhouse was referring to about turnovers, there is no such thing as a good turnover, but sometimes turnovers, as we see one there, are minimized. Case in point, Dallas game, Sprewell had 8 turnovers, but he played a terrific game, and so did the Warriors, and so you don't mention it. You kind of accept it as part of the game from Spree because he does so many other things. I think that's exactly what Jerry Stackhouse was intimating, referring to Michael Jordan.
A couple of changes for the Sixers. Mark Davis is in, also Mark Bradkey, a 28-year-old rookie from Australia, who the 76ers signed in mid-October. And once the Australian League was completed, he joined them in early November this year. The NBA season had already started. Bradkey is a 6'10" power forward / center.
He led the league in rebounding in Australia.
There goes Coleman. Well, he beats Joe easily. Misses the dunk. Coleman's 0 for 5 to open the game. Coleman a 20-20 last night against Sean Kemp. 22 points and 20 rebounds. Andrew DeClercq had his first double-double in the NBA last game out when he had 10 and 10 in Houston. Mark Price makes his first appearance. Price a couple of 3-pointers in that loss to the Rockets, playing for one segment against his younger brother Brent, who was activated during that game, a Rocket point guard. Here goes Joe on the step back, taking too many fadeaways early in the game. And the rebound to Coleman. Joe Smith has struggled from the floor.
Let's see how Mark Price responds defensively against perhaps the quickest point guard in the league in Allen Iverson. Price told me he had a hip flexor was his problem. Hurt it in Houston, but he has been practicing.
There goes Stackhouse. Goes strongly to the goal. Price up the floor. Mullen finds Sprewell slicing through. Jerry Stackhouse never got back defensively.
Well, tell you what,
the missed shot.
Mullen, coming as the trailer, made a terrific play because he, I thought, was the prime target, and they just get it back over to Sprewell. Sprewell made 3 left-handed shots already tonight. He is becoming very diversified.
And Iverson now becomes a part of their offense off of Pecky. Airball's one, though. Sprewell to Price. Joe Smith on a great drop by Mark Price. Gets hammered, and he'll be on the line. The Warriors really zipping the basketball around.
This was the play before. See, right back to Mullen, and then he finds the trailer. And Sprewell, little acrobatic move. Nice drop back pass from Mark Price. I'm sure he did not want to get up in the air and get hit hard and go to the floor with the hip problem.
Mark Price playing off the bench for the first time this year. Warriors swept the season series from the 76ers last year, winning both games. Philly did beat the Warriors this year in the preseason at the new Core State Center, the 76ers' new arena. Warriors pressure Iverson. They have not handled the trap very well. Mullen, a great play to strip Coleman. Sprewell travels. Nice play by Allen Iverson to get in his way and to force Sprewell into a detour.
Coleman gets stripped, and he just takes Andrew DeClercq to the floor. All accidental, of course.
Oh, sure.
Yes.
48 seconds to go in the quarter.
If Sprewell hadn't traveled, by the way, it would have been a terrific collision.
Traveling on Coleman. I think what we're talking about here is efficiency. The 76ers are not very efficient. They have 3 assists tonight, 5 turnovers. And for the year, they commit just slightly more per game assists than turnovers. That's a horrible ratio. The Warriors tonight, 10 assists and 3 turnovers. Joe Smith, no, will go again though. This time, yes. Joe is 3 for 8 from the floor tonight to score his 8 points. Warriors now with the game's largest lead at 29-21 late in the first quarter. Iverson against Price. You know where he's going. The middle is open. 2 players flanked left and right. And Mark just wraps him up and tackles him. The Warriors had a foul to give, so a smart play by Mark Price. First, Iverson became agitated with Price, and then Mark backed up, didn't even look at Iverson. Iverson extended a hand, and Price continued to look away. Coleman will inbound. Plenty of time for Philly. 9 seconds to play in the quarter. Here's Mark Davis. Good look and a dunk from Jerry Stackhouse. The Warriors broke down defensively, but they have time for their own reply. No foul. Iverson from midcourt. 1 quarter is done. Iverson scored 9 points. Stackhouse had 10, but Philly got very little from their front court. And the Warriors got a great first quarter from Mullen, and they have a lead of 6 at the end of 12 minutes of play. Everybody in the mood to dunk. Warriors lead the 76ers 29-23 at the end of 1 quarter of play. Individual game tickets are available and have been for quite some time. The Charlotte Hornets will be here on Monday night with Glenn Rice, Anthony Mason, Muggsy Bogues. They have a record of 17-13. Then the Vancouver Grizzlies will be at the San Jose Arena on Wednesday night. Reason Joe Smith's playing with that bandage on the ear is to hide an earring that he has recently had put in. He had his ear pierced in the last few days, and he does not want to have that removed yet. The hole is so new it may close up on him. Bimbo Coles checks in for the Warriors. You are not allowed to play an NBA game with any kind of jewelry. That's why Joe is concealing it.
I'll tell you, that front court scoring. Coleman's 0 for 5. Weatherspoon yet to take a shot. Williams hit 2 baskets right out of the gate, and that's been it from the front line.
Basket by Mark Davis, second-year player out of Texas Tech, who last year played with the Minnesota Timberwolves and hardly played at all for them, but he's been a regular member of the rotation for rookie head coach Johnny Davis. Also, Rex Walters is in out of San Jose, went to Independence High School, so he returns home tonight. Sprewell up over Stackhouse at 3. Rebound to Walters. Walters playing as their backup point guard. Stackhouse plays up front. Don McClain is off the injured list today. Former UCLA star who has had a rough early year. He's played in only 7 games, and he's not played that effectively in the 7. Fouled on Andrew DeClercq trying to clear the missed shot by McLean. That's Andrew's first foul of the evening. Adelman playing a backcourt of Price and Coles. Springwell gives it a 3-guard look up front. Joe Smith and DeClercq. Again, McLean the miss. Rebound pulled it by Bradkey. Out to Walters for 3. Rex Walters can really stroke the basketball.
Didn't play in 32 games last year, coach's decision, but the last 11 games of the year, he averaged just under 11 a game, and they found a good backup point guard, Iverson, down with Walters.
Again, the same move from Joe Smith, starting on the right block, sweeping across the lane, and taking the fade. Stackhouse palms the ball. It goes back to the Warriors. For Stackhouse, that's his second turnover. Coleman has 3, and the Sixers have 6 in total.
And that's good defense by Bimbo, because Stackhouse would prefer to go right, and he just simply lost the ball off his ankle out of bounds. Bimbo has a book on him.
Price against Walters. All the way to the basket. A finger roll beauty by Mark Price.
He's been driving a bit more the last 5, 6, 7 basketball games. I have noticed that trend.
Warriors double Mark Davis. 76ers a poor outside shooting club. Don McLean has missed his first 2 technically, or actually his first 3. His first 3 shots. Here goes Springwell. Out to Price. Well defended by Davis. Davis a very good defensive player. Stackhouse the rebound. Stackhouse has not left the floor. The only Sixer starter to play the whole way. Iverson is on the bench right now. McLean, quick player, charging into Joe Smith. Well played that time by Joe.
Great adjustment. I'll tell you what Joe did on that play. He didn't go to the baseline to try to cut him off. Watch him retreat and go to the basket where McLean was going, and then reestablish position. I heard John Madden say it the other day. Go to where the offensive player is going, not where he is right now. Same rule applies.
Joe Smith, nice play on the fade by Springwell. Springwell has 5 assists. Mullen had 4 before leading. Mullen played a near perfect first quarter. Mark Davis, a 3-pointer. Rebound Springwell. He rebounds and runs. Bimbo Coles up the floor with him, but Springwell's going it alone. And what a shot that was. Not many guys would even take it, let alone make it.
Well, for most players, it's a bad shot. But Springwell just seems to know that zone around the basket. Very acrobatic move.
Here's Bradkey. Not much of an offensive player. Good rebounder, defender, Don McLean. Another miss. He is 0 for 4. Came into the game shooting only 40%. DeClercq lost the ball. Body slamming as DeClercq lays it back in. Joe Smith was one of those bodies slamming into Sixers. Warriors now with a 9-point lead, their largest of the early evening.
And DeClercq coming off his best game, as you mentioned, double-double in Houston, 10 points, 10 rebounds.
That's a block on Joe Smith. Rick Adelman not happy. The Warriors are doing a very good job, Jim, of moving their feet laterally on defense. They are very well prepared for this game, and they're anticipating the penetrations of both Stackhouse and Iverson. Check this out a moment ago by Springwell.
Well, he just winds up and gets a full head of steam, and then the big leap. He just curled it in, used a little English off the glass, creating an opening going to his right.
Ray Owes checks in for the first time. Ray Owes in the regular rotation more the last couple of games. And keep in mind, of course, Daniel Marshall will not play tonight, suspended for this game after engaging in a shouting match with George Irvin, the Warrior assistant coach, and later Rick Adelman during practice on Tuesday. Sprewell. And the foul is called on the defense of the 76ers. More changes for the Sixers. Mark Davis picks up the foul. Sixers bring in Lucius Harris, former Dallas Maverick, who they signed as a free agent in late July. Gave him a 7-year contract, and he has played very poorly.
Yeah, Harris's 4th year in the league. Second-round selection, number 28 overall. Long Beach State, big-time scorer, kind of a Tony Dumas type player. Just really couldn't find enough minutes playing behind Dumas, and then when they brought in George McLeod in Dallas. But he is capable. He is a streaky player, but capable of big offensive outbursts.
Timeout called by Johnny Davis, and the 76ers, 4 minutes into the second quarter, the Warriors now have a 10-point lead. Conference of the American Basketball League. Chris Mullin back in. A brilliant first quarter for Chris. Scored 5 hoops, helped out on 4 others in his first 12 minutes of play. Allen Iverson back in for the Sixers, matching up with Mark Price. There goes Coleman, backing in on DeClerc. Out to Iverson. Price floats by, and Iverson blows the shot. Rebound to Mullin. Rayos on a quick pass from Bimbo Coles is fouled inside by Bradkey. Bradkey's first foul of the evening.
Once again, transition basketball gives you an opportunity. Clearly the foul was before the shot was taken, so the Warriors just get possession out of bounds.
Rebound pulled by Mark Davis. Davis playing very well for the 76ers. He was Minnesota's round 2 pick last year. He actually played more minutes already this year than he played all of last season. Here's Coleman. Coleman still cannot make a shot. He's 0 for 6. DeClerc rips the rebound away. Coles, good luck finding Mullin. You got to get the ball to Mullin tonight. Mullin has still not missed, and he's still not touched the rim.
6 for 6, including a 3. And you know what? You don't want him to go too many cold spells. He needs a lot of touches. Just keep him in rhythm.
Mullin can't miss. Coleman can't make one.
Yeah, I was concerned when Mullin went out of the game to come back in, you know, how he would feel, because sometimes you have a chance to think about it. But maybe the great shooters, it doesn't worry them because they just have that tremendous stroke. And Bimbo all along was thinking of setting up Mullin. And you get people running at you. You have a dribble left, he just pump fakes. All of a sudden, he is free to shoot as the defender floats by.
Now, I know you've heard of the 700 Club. You ever hear of the 170 Club?
Yes, and I think Mullin's number 5 in the league, is that right?
Well, he's one of 4 players in the 170 Club. The 170 Club, exclusive membership. Derek Coleman would not make it. You have to shoot 50% or better from the floor, 40% or better on your three-point attempts, and 80% and better from the line. The 4 members in the league right now: John Stockton, Steve Kerr, Eric Piatkowski, who hardly plays at all for the Clippers, and Chris Mullin.
Yeah, I saw that in USA Today, and I would throw out Eric Piatkowski because he just doesn't have enough minutes to qualify for those in my book. But Mullin, incredible. But how about Stockton, what he's doing this year?
Well, he's there every year, and I think Hornacek will be there before the year's out. Mullin, 7 for 7. Warriors now with a 13-point lead. And still, every basket he has made has been a swish.
Yeah, that one clearly was just down in the middle and the heart of the rim.
Lucius Harris, who can be that kind of scorer, just not nearly as consistent as Chris Mullin, knocks it down. Harris shooting only 36% this year. Mark Price, seeing Mullin want to have a little game of horse here. I don't know who would win, Jim, but it would last a long, long time.
Well, they keep launching like that in the Sixers. A woeful 36%. You know, when they shoot below 44%, the Sixers are 2 and 17. So field goal percentage is a huge factor.
Derek Coleman picks up a foul on Rayos. That's the modern NBA where they actually put together stats when you shoot below 44%. It used to be when you shot below 50%, but now they're going as low as 44 to give you a number. Mark Davis leaves for Johnny Davis. Back into the game is the Spoon, Clarence Weatherspoon. He had a very difficult time chasing Mullin around in the first quarter. We'll see if he fares any better here in the second. Warriors have hit 20 of their first 34. Philly 12 of their first 33. Wild shot by Coleman, miserable. To Clerc, to Price. Price, the pop. And the Warriors have a lead of 48-32, and Johnny Davis has seen plenty of this. Timeout, Sixers.
DeClercq came over and said, I apologize, that was my fault on the pass as I threw it over your head and not towards the basket but toward the baseline.
Warriors after one quarter led 29-23, and they've jumped Philly big in the first 7 minutes of the second quarter to build up a lead of 16 points.
We're trying to think of Tom Gola. He played 4 years of college ball at LaSalle. When did they put that rule in where freshmen could not play collegiately? Because I know when I went to school in 1962, you could not play as a freshman.
Allen Iverson, likely the rookie of the year this year, but also on pace to establish a new NBA record. Iverson is committing 5.3 turnovers a game, and the most in the history of the NBA. Artis Gilmore in 77-78, playing with the Chicago Bulls, committed 366 turnovers in all 82 games, an average of 4.46 per game. So Iverson, if he stays healthy, is going to break Gilmore's dubious record. Incidentally, the NBA did not start recording turnovers until the 1977-78 year, and Gilmore, the first year that they kept track, to establish what is still a league record. Point guard Kevin Porter, number 2 on that list.
And in my career, Greg, I want to tell you, I committed 0.3 turnovers per game. 1 turnover every 3 games, because can you prove I didn't? They didn't keep records.
You retired.
They didn't keep records until after I retired.
I'm going to look into this, Jim. Somewhere we could figure it out. Chris Mullin of the ball poked out. That's like the line from the movie about last night. Mark Price, the head fake, couple of nice ones, and he missed the shot. Rebound. Mark Price battles for. Going to be a jump ball here. Mark Price is playing with a lot of energy tonight.
Yeah, you know, I was thinking the same thing, and not anger, but a lot of aggressiveness, and maybe it's a little frustration, getting injured, not starting here, and coming in and saying, all right, I can prove I need some minutes.
Joe Smith back in. Todd Fuller also. I think also Price has grown agitated with Iverson. When he left the floor at the end of the first quarter, he was looking back to the Philly bench, and he was overheard screaming, "Why is that little punk talking to me?"
That's a good point, Greg, what you just made. I think there's a lot to do with that.
And remember, Iverson, after a little altercation between the two, extended a hand to shake his hand, and Price would not shake back and looked away. Out of bounds off of Todd Fuller, and the Sixers will keep the ball. Well, Allen Iverson clearly is the hunted, and a lot of the veterans around the NBA did not like him. Dennis Rodman, I don't know why we're quoting Dennis Rodman here, but interesting quote. He represents the new wave of NBA players.
I read also, did he really tell Michael Jordan that I don't need to respect anybody? And Michael said, well, we're one team that you're going to have to respect sooner or later.
He claims he didn't say it. Witherspoon with a missed shot as they battle for the rebound. Ed Middleton calls a loose ball foul on the 76ers. But pardon me, it's on Mullen. It's on Mullen of the Warriors. They were walking up the other end of the floor. The Warriors were assuming it was on Philly, but Middleton calls it on Mullen, his first of the game. So Derek Coleman will be on the line. And I got to finish my line from the movie about last night. James Belushi trying to impress a young woman in a Chicago bar. Walks up to her and she says, "What do you do for a living?" And says, "I'm a professional boxer. You know much about the fight game?" She says, "No." In that case, "I'm the world heavyweight champion." It's kind of like you with your turnover career mark. Huh?
A fair analogy.
You can't prove it, right? No.
You know what? I have to say, I did not know that they didn't keep records like that until 77, 78. I'm kind of shocked at that.
You're probably happy, too. So we've quoted James Belushi and Dennis Rodman. We can move along now. 4 minutes to go in the half. Warriors playing a spirited game tonight and very effective. Joe Smith knocks it down. And the Warriors now with 3 guys in double figures. Mullen leading with 15. Joe has 12. Likewise for Springwell. And they have a 15-point lead. Stackhouse. A little long. Derek Coleman. Great offensive rebound. Right back up for his first hoop of the game after missing his first 7 shots tonight.
Could I say maybe in the second half we could move along the little chain of command and maybe quote Robert Frost or Leon Uris or someone other than a Rodman and a Belushi.
Many miles to go. Reggie Jackson.
2 roads diverged.
I used to quote Robert Frost just about every night. Here goes Iverson when we were working together on A's games. Coleman, pump fake, then the shot. Good rebound by Witherspoon. Back out to Stackhouse. Another good offensive rebound. The Sixers a good offensive rebounding club. That compensates for their inefficiency in other areas, all the missed shots and turnovers. Scott Williams jump hooks one down. He has 6. He was pulled from the game after 3 minutes of play. I think after he threw up that bad shot off the backboard. Davis pulled it. Foul on Witherspoon. Witherspoon is frustrated, Jim, as they're just not playing him in his area of dominance. Johnny Davis playing him at small forward, not at power forward. He's a much better player with his back to the bucket inside.
Well, then why don't they post him up against Mullen? Coleman hasn't had success tonight, 1 for 9. Witherspoon has only attempted 1 field goal, but what he's frustrated right now is he didn't like the call, certainly, but he's been chasing Mullen all around. You know what? Mullen was not going to shoot that ball. If Witherspoon had stayed on the floor, Mullen has attempted 7 shots. They've all been wide open shots. If Witherspoon had stayed down on the pump fake, Mullen was not going to force it.
What a night for Chris Mullen. 7 of 7 floor, 2 of 2 line. He has 4 assists. If the 76ers represent the modern NBA player of the 90s, Chris Mullen clearly represents the player of the 80s. Here's a foul. A 2-shot foul called on Todd Fuller. Trying to stay with Derek Coleman.
I guess they got it on the reach in because it looked like a charge against Joe Smith. I'll quickly say this before the first free throw. Mullen, to me, is identifiable with any player in the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s.
Told you about the 5-packs. You got to jump on this. What a great package available to you from the Warriors. 5 games for only $100. 4 different plans to choose from. One's all weekend games. One has the Michael Jordan appearance here in the Bay Area. Another has Shaq's only other appearance this year, and likewise another plan has the Houston Rockets with Barkley Olajuwon and Clyde Drexler. So call the Warriors at 986-2222 in the 510 area code. Sprewell out the other side, but he missed the shot. The rebound poked out of bounds. The Warriors will keep it with 2.5 minutes to play in a Warrior-controlled first half.
Spree puts it on the floor. Just covers a lot of distance with 1 dribble and doesn't get that one to curl in.
Joe Smith poked away by Scott Williams, but the Warriors retain it. Price slipped as he went up. Rebound out to Iverson. Iverson attained first half. 11 points, slips it into Witherspoon. Blocked by Fuller, but a foul is called inside again on the Warrior rookie. Number 2 on time.
Iverson trying to do the right thing because I thought he had an opportunity to go to the basket. He did see 2 or 3 defenders in there, rotated back out. And a young gun like that with that kind of quickness, it's hard to hold back.
Witherspoon's career numbers against the Warriors almost mirroring his career numbers, period, where he's 17.2 scoring average. But this year, down below 11. He's their 4th top scorer, and he's as he has been the odd man out in their new motion offense. Joe Smith, as the Warriors just beat him up the floor. San Antonio, another impressive win tonight. They beat Utah last night, and the night they win in Denver. The Lakers trying to take the second game of a home-and-home. They beat Sacramento at Arco last night. 1:40 to go in the first half here in San Jose. Joe Smith, the running hook shot does not go. Joe has forced the action a little bit tonight. He is 6 of 14 from the floor. A Coleman 2-pointer is retrieved beautifully by Clarence Witherspoon. Out to Iverson for 3. Scott Williams the tip. Another offensive rebound. Adelman stomps his feet. The Sixers staying in this game on the offensive boards. Stackhouse out of the corner drains another 3-pointer. 3rd 3-pointer of the early game for Jerry Stackhouse. The Warriors' 16-point lead has dwindled down to 7.
Offensive rebounds have kept the Sixers in the game. It's as simple as that because they're not shooting with any kind of percentage.
Price to Fuller, tipped away. Here goes Iverson, and he travels. Only a 2nd turnover of the first half.
I just think he was indecisive and didn't know what he was going to do. Loses the handle on the ball a little bit, right? See what he did? He got indecision. Put two hands on the ball, going to make the pass, and he was concerned about a turnover. And that's when you're turnover prone, you start thinking a little bit. And Mullen hustled back.
Sprewell against Stackhouse. Rebound to Scott Williams. Stackhouse races it down. The 76ers are in just such a big hurry to do everything.
But they were trying to get 2 for 1 on that last exchange.
Price a three.
Now Mullen made the play at the other end. I'm going to tag my own line. He's also adapted to the players of the 90. Typifies another generation, but he has adapted and he has become a force.
10 seconds to go in the first half. We're going to check back in with Glenn Kuiper inside the studios. We'll come back out here and talk to Michael Cage as Clarence Weatherspoon drains down a three-pointer. Michael Cage, their veteran leader.
That's the first three-pointer for Weatherspoon this year.
Mark Price beats the clock, but off the rim. He closes a wildly entertaining up and down first half. The Warriors shot 53% from the floor. Joe Smith in double figures. We have a technical foul on Jerry Stackhouse. As the first half concludes, Stackhouse picks up a technical as he heads into the 76er locker room. It has been a feisty game. The Sixers are getting this a lot of nights as some of the more NBA veteran clubs are looking to put them back in their place. Here's the Mark Price three-point shot. Mark Price came off the bench and shot the ball well. Here's Stackhouse. A moment ago, we'll have the ball punched away by Chris Mullen.
That was stripped and Stackhouse protested.
And Stackhouse heading into the locker room picked up the technical foul. It is 57-50. The Warriors, they'll shoot the technical before the third quarter begins. Warriors led the 76ers by as many as 16 points, 48-32. They settled for a lead of 7 at halftime. Greg Papa, Jim Barnett back with you. And now we're going to check out our Chrysler halftime highlights. The two backcourts both played very well. Iverson and Stackhouse had a pretty good first half.
Well, the club as a whole, the Sixers did not shoot well, but this was the best shooter, and particularly from long range. And that's what kept the 76ers in the game, because they made 7 three-point field goals. Stackhouse made 3 of them. Sprewell picked his spots, driving to the basket. Very close in the backcourt, 28-24. But the Warriors, 17 assists, Greg, in the first half. 17 assists on their 24 field goals. And the 6 turnovers, that only led to 3 points. The 9 turnovers for Philadelphia led to 15 points. Clearly, the finest player on the floor in the first half was Chris Mullen. He was simply perfect. 7 for 7 from the field, 1 for 1 from three-point range, 4 assists, 17 points. The difference in the game right now, 13 of the 26 rebounds the 76ers got are from the offensive end. 37% shooting, but 7 three-point field goals.
Now, a moment ago, Mark Price knocked down a technical free throw for Price, his 11th point of the game. This stems to the close of the first half when Jerry Stackhouse picked up a technical foul heading into the locker room. So the Warriors now with 4 players in double figures. Mullen 17, Joe Smith 14, 12 for Sprewell, 11 for Mark Price. Looks like the third quarter maybe just a little late in beginning, considering this guy's on a step ladder and working on the 24-second clock. There's Felton Spencer, who was not available tonight, missing his second in a row with a bruised left foot. That injury was suffered in the Warrior win over the Dallas Mavericks. And Warrior schedule, Jim, really going to be a little more attractive the next 9 games. Charlotte will be here on Monday. They are 4 games over 500, but after that, a back-to-back affair Wednesday and Thursday with the Grizzlies, who are one of the worst teams in the NBA. Then it's on to the road. The Warriors will have a seemingly easy 5-game road trip. When you look at the records, Jim, whenever you go on the road in the NBA, it's difficult.
It is difficult, but I think this team can be a good road club. Rick Adelman has had some days to practice. He'd like them to get this game after a 5-day layoff. And finally, that 24-second clock is fixed. You know, I want to say something. Why there's a look of concern on Rick Adelman's face? Certainly. With 5 minutes to go in the first half, the Warriors had a lead of 16, 48-32. And to close the last 5 minutes, the Sixers outscored the Warriors 18-9. And that was due in large part to them just swarming the offensive glass. On a couple of occasions, they got offensive rebounds that led to three-point field goals. When you're only shooting 37%, but you're out shooting your opponent seven three-point field goals to only 3, it makes up a big difference.
Even though Mark Price made the technical free throw, he's on the bench to begin the third quarter. Derek Coleman scores to make it a 58-52 game. Coleman now with 3 baskets in total on 12 shots. He missed his first 7. Coleman takes one away. Up the floor comes Iverson. Iverson was, well, he throws it away. I was going to make the point. Actually, it was tipped out by the Warriors from behind. Iverson, I thought, was somewhat discerning in the first half. Did not push it when it wasn't there. Johnny Davis, pretty good scorer during his 10 years in the NBA, has been quietly, and that's been Johnny's approach, to be rather quiet in Allen's ear, but he's trying to encourage him to back off when it's not there. And I thought he did a pretty good job in the first half.
And I understand that the Sixers may be looking to make a deal, but remember, Johnny Davis does not have that authority. That is in the hands of Brad Greenberg in the front office. This is not a Doug Collins situation like in Detroit, where he has complete personnel control.
Brad Greenberg is the Sixer new GM. They have a new GM, a new coach, and a new owner. The effervescent Pat Croce is also their president. What a story he is.
Yeah, he says we're going to win and win in a very short time, and he really believes in visualization and realization of those dreams.
And verbalization. Man, can he talk?
Yes.
Here's a basket by the Spoon, Clarence Weatherspoon. He'll go to the line trying for a 3-point play. You talked about trades with the Sixers. All the trade rumors surrounding this club for the last couple of years have surrounded the Spoon.
Yep. His first 4 years in the league, Clarence Weatherspoon led this club in rebounding, and he's got terrific career numbers. When you look at it, as you mentioned, they're down this year, but career 17.2 points per game. And I really think, as I mentioned before, he played center in college. He's a small forward, but he's a powerful small forward, and he could take advantage of Chris Mullin tonight. They really haven't looked at it until that sequence.
Boy, BJ had a hard time dribbling. Shot clock down to 8. The Warriors 8. The Warriors finally get it in the offensive set. BJ barely grazes the rim. The Warrior lead at 48-32, 16-point bulge with 5 minutes to play in the first half is down to 3. 100 seconds into the second half. Rebound pulled by Todd Fuller. B.J. Armstrong making his first start of the year.
You got to push this ball, Greg.
And B.J. begins the third quarter with Sprewell, Mullin, Smith, and Fuller. Late foul as they went at Todd Fuller in midair. And Todd will be on the free throw line. They give the foul to Scott Williams, his second of the evening.
Watch this entry pass. Now again, it's kind of a catch-22. Do you go up and try to dunk with force and you get fouled and have to get it at the line? I know the way Chris Mullin would play that. He would go up quickly and lay it in with the palm up to get it off quickly. And then that defender really from the weak side can't come through the rim to block it. If you can get a little quickness up there, there's no defender that could disrupt that play. I like to get it off and get a sure two.
Coleman, nice play. I think that may be the difference, Jim, between smaller players and bigger players. Yeah. Bigger guys are taught to go up powerfully. And Todd just may not have the cleverness of a Mullin at this stage of his development.
But he doesn't have the quickness
that too
of the other big players that he plays against.
No basket. Middleton's going to wipe it off. It's an offensive foul on Joe Smith. We're all waiting for his verdict as Middleton gave it the big wind-up. He had something against Joe, you knew, and he called him for a hook with the elbow. Let's see what you think.
Well, let's watch it on the spin. I just do not see it. I just do not see it. Rick Adelman didn't see it. Joe Smith was shocked.
Fans in the San Jose Arena, they too didn't see it. Clarence Weatherspoon sees it but can't make it. 60-57 Warriors. Sprewell kicks it away. Here's Iverson. Iverson has not given us the full show yet. Here's Weatherspoon. Allen Iverson has not really pushed it to 5th gear like he certainly has. One more look at the foul. Does Joe Smith? Well, there's another angle, a little better. Maybe you did see it on that angle.
Well, I tell you why I don't like the call, though, because that was not a free arm. He had both hands on the ball. It's a very different story. He did finish with the left hand. That's a good angle to show it from, particularly on that one. But he did have his right hand on the ball as he made the turn in there, and you do have to protect the ball. You simply can't lay your arm against your body because you'll get stripped. And so as an official, if I were the official, I would try to rule that. Where were his hands on the play when he made the move?
Warriors just 3 points in the first 3 minutes of the second half into Joe. They're putting Witherspoon on him now and not Coleman. Joe makes the fade, taking that shot repeatedly tonight. Joe Smith 16 points on 15 shots. He scored 27 his last game, a loss in Houston, but he put up a career-high 28 shots. Here goes Iverson now. It's not so much BJ and Price on him, but the help defenders. Warriors throw it away. BJ not playing well in the third quarter, and he did play well in the first 10 minutes of the game.
Well, he made his only attempt, the first basket of the game, as he drove the baseline when he first started. And then his next shot did not come until the third quarter here. A little jump shot that he missed.
Here goes Coleman. Oh, Mullen knew it was coming. Mullen playing just a beautiful basketball game.
He's the best in the league at that, stripping from behind.
Joe Smith over the spoon. Warriors 64, the 76ers 61.
Don't you think Witherspoon is saying, look, I had Mullen in the first half, now he's ripping me from outside, so I switch over to Joe, and now he's buried 2 in a row.
That's why they got to play him as a power forward. Maybe he and Coleman just can't mix. He's got to be closer to the basket, both offensively and defensively. Stackhouse, what an athlete, but he missed the shot a little out of control. Witherspoon fouled hard by Todd Fuller.
You know, Greg, that's one of the problems of today's young players, and Michael Cage talked about it in the halftime interview. That last move by Stackhouse, players of that caliber generally have to score with the ball in their hands. In other words, Mullen, all those baskets were not by individual moves in the first half. The ball came to him by him moving without the ball. And a lot of the great players with the great talent really prefer to have the ball in their hands and try to make scores and make something happen.
That's why they commit so many turnovers.
Yes.
I don't think the young guys get what we're talking about. Andrew DeClercq is in for Fuller. Fuller picks up 2 fouls in the first 4 minutes of this second half. Numbers 3 and 4 in the game, and now he's forced off the floor. When the ball's always in your hands, you're much more inclined to pick up turnovers. The ball's very seldom in Mullen's hands.
Right.
He's moving without the ball, gets it, and boom, it's gone, either to a teammate or up for a shot.
You create an advantage, and then you make your moment.
There's a charge on Sprewell. Adelman does not like the call. Stackhouse picks it up.
I think Adelman wants a timeout.
Yes, he does.
Or else he says, give me a T, and I don't think that's his intent.
No, he doesn't want to give him $500. He wants a word with his basketball team.
Now, in this particular one, I think Sprewell had his mind made up what he was going to do. Maybe it's a little bit of a flop, but it was also a pretty good defensive stance and position by Stackhouse. Warriors clinging to a 1-point lead.
Best Price a good 14 minutes of play for the first time this year. Mark Price playing off the bench. The Warriors 6 turnovers this quarter. The Sixers, who lead the NBA in turnovers per game at almost 20, have not committed any. Scott Williams on the jump hook gives the 76ers a 1-point lead. Their first lead since it was 17-15. The Warriors' 16-point lead is completely gone. Price to DeClercq. Oh, nice play by Stackhouse. Met him at the rim and made him give up the dunk, and he missed the lay-in. Iverson to Stack. Iverson. A 3-pointer by Allen Iverson.
And that's a killer when you miss an easy layup at the other end. Sprewell finally hits his first 3 of the night after missing his first 4.
Boy, they love the 3-point line in the NBA. Sprewell had a drive. Looked like he could have walked in and dunked the ball, but he shot a 3-pointer.
Well, when it's going for you, it's a huge asset. And when it's not, it's a coach's nightmare.
Illegal defense called on the Warriors here. It's on Joe Smith. 76ers will inbound. Pardon me, second time they're called for it. The Sixers will shoot a technical free throw, and they will put Jerry Stackhouse on the line. Stackhouse, a 78% free thrower.
Bounce pass into DeClercq. See, Stackhouse let him go. DeClercq lost his concentration, lost the handle on the ball. Maybe he got in between. Should I dunk it or lay it in?
Stack from the wing misses the long one. Warriors down 2 points midway through this third quarter.
Mark Price very aggressive with the shot tonight.
Iverson to Clerk, diving forward to Clerk to Price. Joe Smith blocked, but he'll be on the line. That was some effort by both Iverson and Andrew DeClercq, and DeClercq came up with the loose ball.
Now this is the kind of play I like to see. Price knocks it away from Iverson. A dive on the floor by Joe Smith. A dive on the floor and a scoop by DeClercq. Nice drop back pass. Good block inside, but there was contact as Joe works himself to the line. Now that's fun.
Watch DeClercq. Not only does he pick up the loose ball, but he makes a pass out of it against Iverson. Joe Smith, the #1 pick last year, against the #1 pick this year. And I must say, I've been surprised with Iverson's play tonight.
You expected more?
No, I expected more craziness, wildness. Maybe we'll see it later on. I've been very impressed with the way he's played tonight. Here he goes off the steps over the end line, committing a turnover. He just floats with the ball, though, #3 in the turnover category for Iverson.
There's no more force out. A few years ago, that would have been a good force out call. Watch this as DeClercq comes in. You see, now it either has to be a charge or a defensive foul or a simple turnover as you take it out of bounds. Now that Scott Williams collapsed in to the chest of Joe Smith. Joe did not get the call.
5.5 to go. Warriors and Sixers tied at 69. Sixers 8 and 21. Look like they're headed to their 6th straight lottery appearance. Coleman fouled after clearing another offensive rebound.
Well, they have responded here in the second half.
Mark Davis, good defender, is in the game. And the Sixers pull out Clarence Weatherspoon. Look for Davis to defend Chris Mullin now. Mullin, who made all 7 of his shots in the first half, has not attempted #8 yet in the second half. He has not shot the ball in almost 7 minutes of play.
A couple of reasons why. #1, the Warriors haven't been in transition game like they were in the first half. And #2, the players on the floor simply forget about looking for him. And to me, that's just a sin.
And #3, the Warriors have turned the ball over 6 times in this quarter. They've not had as many opportunities. The offense is just not running as smoothly. For Sprewell. 17 for Sprewell.
It's a good play. It's a good play for Spree to come off a little screen up high.
There's a pick and roll. Iverson and Scott Williams. Again, a little wild now. Iverson throws too high for Scott Williams. Iverson, turnovers #3 and 4.
Yeah, he thinks that Williams should have caught that ball. He doesn't realize how quick it was. He doesn't understand that guys bigger than he aren't going to be as quick.
I'm not sure Freddie Bolitnikov would have caught that ball.
Old #25 with the stick-em.
Davis knocks it out. Warriors will keep it. Here's the last one, the pick and roll. And for a little too high and behind. If the key was behind Scott Williams.
Yeah, that's a tough pass to catch.
Andrew DeClercq, nice hustle again. Price a 3. DeClercq has really had an impact on this game tonight. And so has Mark Price. Maybe Andrew a bit energized after his Florida Gators won their first ever NCAA football championship last night. And did they ever? Blowout.
52-20.
Who would have thought that?
It's amazing.
Not Bobby Bowden. Coleman, a dagger with a 3-pointer. The #1 pick in the 1990 NBA draft. Derek Coleman, a Rookie of the Year, but only a one-time All-Star. DeClercq scores. Andrews playing terrifically well. He and Price team up again. This time it's Price the passer and DeClercq the scorer.
And if DeClercq can give you, 8-10 points in a game, you know he's going to be there defensively and with rebounds. It's really going to be a huge asset.
Stackhouse. And the basket scored by Derek Coleman. These guys may be young and crazy, but they are fun to watch.
They've got talent.
Mullen, Joe Smith, spinning and scoring.
Great move, because there was traffic there.
A thoroughly entertaining night inside the San Jose Arena. So far, the Warriors and Sixers on a Friday night are going after each other. Here's Mark Davis into DC. Derek Coleman going to shoot it out of a double. And Coleman's a great passer. Got stubborn. Mark Davis up. Clean play. Rebound raced on by Scott Williams. Here's Iverson wide open for three. Sixers tie the game at 78. Iverson with his fourth three-pointer of the game, and here he goes as Mark Price went down.
Iverson has a 42-inch vertical leap. Now, I'm telling you, he struck like a cobra on that play against Mark Price. I mean, he just simply whisked in there before a blink of an eye.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think we've seen fifth gear yet. I think he can throw it down. Here's a turnover. DeClercq out of his realm, gave it up to Stackhouse. Stackhouse the feed. Oh, Davis blew a dunk. Warrior ball. Timeout called by Johnny Davis and the Sixers. This team has lost 13 of their last 14, but you wouldn't know it by their play tonight. The Pro Football Insider will have his personal picks. Speaking of picks, here's the #1 pick of the NBA draft, Allen Iverson, knocking down a three-pointer a moment ago. And then he, as you said, Jim, like a cobra, strips Mark Price.
Well, he just went in for that basketball, and I don't think Mark Price had any idea he was going to strike like that. Now here's the last play. A heartbreaker for Johnny Davis and Mark Davis. Ball just squirts out of bounds off of Derek Coleman after a missed dunk. Mark Price had made a three, but there's a kick away from behind again.
Sixers all over the floor. It is the Warriors that have had the turnover problem. 9 this quarter.
Ooh.
And 15 for the game. 2 more than the Sixers, who lead the NBA in turnovers per game.
Yeah,
and
Price,
here's Iverson, who may establish a new league record this year for turnovers. Coleman. Oh, blocked by Joe, and they call it a clean block. Shot clock down. Iverson missing a three, and they take it away from Springwell. Mark Davis, very heads-up player, just took it out of the midst of Springwell. Scott Williams. He's taking some wild shots tonight. He got himself pulled in the first half for one. Scott Williams playing like a DB. Nice stepped out. Warrior ball. Nice play, racing back defensively to take the lob intended for Latrell Springwell away.
Yeah, it was looking like turnover number 10. And the 4th in a row. Just could not stay in bounds.
Pretty close.
Leon Wood was right on the call.
Warriors 15 turnovers for the game. Philly 13. 80 seconds to go, third quarter. Springwell. Holding foul on a very agitated Jerry Stackhouse. Jerry's already picked up 1 technical. That was the close of the first half. That's his first personal foul of the game.
Now Sprewell for a moment faces up. Then he goes back and backs in, using that left arm a little bit to give him a little freedom.
Latrell Sprewell missed a right wing three. Rebound to Price. Out to Mullen. That's Mullen's first shot that he's missed tonight. Andrew DeClercq blocked with a goaltend on Scott Williams. What a great offensive rebound on the Sixers. Who blocked that, Coleman or Williams? One of the two got it.
I think Scott Williams.
We'll see on the replay. One of their bald front court guys, Jim. It was Derek Coleman with a left hand and a goaltend. Game tied at 80. Under a minute to go, third quarter.
Told you I knew those guys.
Foul. Quick one on the Warriors. Andrew DeClercq, his 4th foul. Andrew DeClercq picks up a personal foul once every 3.9 minutes. Last year, the most frequent fouler in the NBA, picked up one every 5 minutes. So he's picking up one in less than 4 minutes of play, Jim. Wow.
I'll tell you why it hurts, too, because without Felton Spencer, you need DeClercq to play more minutes on the floor.
Ray Owes comes in, and Andrew DeClercq leaves. That means that the Warriors will play a center power forward combination of Owes and Joe Smith. They'll get sleek, and that could mean that Coleman can pound the boards even more.
Yeah. Rick Adelman has a choice. He can bring back in Fuller, but you get more athletic, clearly, with Ray Owes on the floor.
And right away it becomes a problem as Derek Coleman pulls down rebound number 10 and draws a foul driving towards the basket. Bruce Alexander calls a holding foul on Chris Mullin. You may be saying to yourself, why doesn't Mullin shoot the ball more in this third quarter? He was 7 for 7 from the floor. Very simply, Chris Mullin is just not going to take bad shots this year. He told me early in the year that he's not going to get into it. He doesn't like the way the NBA has begun to deteriorate with the possessions, Jim, and he's just not going to force shots. He does not feel it there.
Well, he's been in the entire third quarter, but that's not like it with all the turnovers that the Warriors have committed. And also, that doesn't mean he enjoys playing 12 minutes and only getting one field goal attempt. He's not going to force the shot, but certainly when he's open, he'd like to see the ball.
A little tougher assignment, though, with Mark Davis shadowing Mullin. Here's Joe Smith around the rim and out. Rebound tipped. Still fighting. Oh, good save. And it goes to Joe Smith.
Okay, Ray Owes kept it alive initially.
Yes. Mark Davis dove over the end line to save it. Joe got it and dunked it. 24 points for Joe Smith, a game high.
Now that's a dimension that Ray Owes brings to the court. He can just go for offensive rebounds, use that quickness, jumping ability. He just has an uncanny way of getting inside.
There's your quarter clock, right side of the screen. Now we show the shot clock. Late third quarter in San Jose. Here comes Iverson. Oh, boy. Pretty big step. And the loose ball is not picked up before the third quarter closes. Iverson and the Sixers, a big third quarter, as they were down 16 midway through the second, but now we are tied after 36 minutes of play. Iverson, he was not a point guard in college. He played a very small two-guard for John Thompson. Here's that save by Mark Davis, a beautiful touch pass by Price into Joe for the dunk. Mullin will begin the fourth quarter as an observer. 17 points on a perfect shooting first half. In the third quarter, in which he played all 12 minutes, he did not score, shot the ball only one time, and he missed a three-point attempt. Warriors begin the fourth quarter with Price now in as Bimbo Cole. Sprewell up front, Ray Owes and Joe Smith. Sprewell blocked but fouled by Mark Davis.
Now, last night in Seattle, the Sixers actually led at halftime by 3. They're trying to win on the road. They've got 7 games in 13 days, Johnny Davis's club. Longest road trip of the season. Now coming into the fourth quarter tied at 82. And the way they've been rebounding the ball, they've got to be encouraged by this. So the Warriors are in a dogfight.
They led by 3 at half last night, lost by 14. Their previous game last Sunday in LA against the Lakers, at half they were down only a point and lost that game by 13. It's been an ongoing season trend, and not a big shocker considering their inexperienced nature of this roster. They just have not been able to win games in the fourth quarter. Rex Walters is back in for the Sixers to begin the fourth quarter. He came from New Jersey along with Derek Coleman in the Sean Bradley trade. Don McClain back in. Stackhouse threw it away in a bounce pass.
A great rotation from the weak side by Joe Smith.
Sprewell is fouled. Again, the foul picked up by Mark Davis.
You mentioned fourth quarter breakdowns. Yes, last night Seattle outscored them 35-22. The Warriors going to have to start playing some defense.
There goes Sprewell. Oh, they tipped it late, but he still came off the left side and was able to score. Beautiful play by Sprewell. He'll go to the line trying to finish off a three-point play.
When we talk about the players of the 90, watch this big jump. That's the move. That is not traveling. You come to a jump stop and take one huge leap through the lane. They used to do that, come to the jump stop with the ball out of your hands, and now you get the liberty of having the ball in your hands.
Tucked in by Joe Smith. That'll pump him up.
Huge sequence, 4-point play.
Timeout called by Johnny Davis. The Warriors score the first 6 points of the first 56 seconds of the fourth quarter. And the last 2 were very impressive. Points number 25 and 26 tonight for Joe. If I could listen to Leonard Koppett talk about baseball all night. But we're in the middle of a pretty good basketball game here, Jim. Joe Smith and Latrell Sprewell coming up with some big hoops in the first minute of the fourth quarter.
Spree had a chance for a 3-point play, missed the free throw, but it turned out to be a very nice miss as Joe Smith slammed it down.
There goes Don McLean, and he is held trying to go on Ray O's. Second foul of the game called on Ray. Here's the Joe Smith slam after Sprewell missed a free throw. He got his own miss, and then Joe got another Sprewell miss. Joe 26 points, Spree 21. Joe, the rebound, is 8th of the game.
That was good defense by Ray O's on McLean. If you can make McLean put the ball on the floor, he's not nearly as effective.
Price, defended by Rex Walters, misses. Rebound to Stackhouse. Sixers playing a Walters-Stackhouse backcourt, a front line of Lucius Harris at small forward with Don McLean, the sleek power forward. The center is the veteran Michael Cage. As they are resting Iverson and Coleman. From the corner, Don McLean knocks it down.
His first basket, and you see, no dribble on the floor, just a catch and shoot. He got a very quick release.
McLean activated today off the injured list. He had been out since early December with a left hip strain. Into Joe Smith against Michael Cage. Good defense by Cage, little overly aggressive, and Cage picks up the foul, his second of the game. That'll put Joe Smith on the free throw line, where he is a perfect 4 for 4 tonight. The Warriors 13 of 16 from the line, 81%. The Warriors continue to be the best free throw shooting club in the National Basketball Association.
Oh, without even looking then, 13 for 16. I know where all 3 misses have come from. Latrell, because he missed in the first half 2 in a row when he had a chance. When he got fouled, did not make the basket, missed one a moment ago.
5 days off and you're still razor sharp. Incredible.
Well, I'm just surprised because he was shooting free throws so well, but the last couple of weeks he's kind of lost a little concentration.
Well, there's 2 more misses for you. Joe Smith. Bimbo Cole strips Lucius Harris. Harris for a moment to stop playing. Now they trap him. Bimbo Coles, he gets out of it quickly to Price.
Philadelphia is playing aggressive defense, but that's a nice shot by Spree.
He's playing aggressive offense as usual.
Yeah, he was looking for Stackhouse to take that bait and get himself to the line. Philly has already committed 4 fouls. Their next foul will put the Warriors on the line.
Walters, the late pass out to Michael Cage. Thought about it. Walters to Stackhouse. Back to Walters. All the way to the goal. Nope, but he's fouled. Good play by Rex Walters to take it to the rack.
Sprewell last possession. Watch him pump fake and then come into Stackhouse. Stackhouse played that very well. Make a player earn the shot. Sprewell did. He's not going to hit too many of those.
Rex Walters had to dish out 28 passes tonight for family and friends as he returns to San Jose, where he played at Independence High School. Although his first time in the San Jose Arena tonight, came out of the Sixer locker room and was unsure which way to turn to go to the floor. Actually began walking around the bowels of the arena before he was redirected. 90-86. Warriors by 4. Sprewell in a maze avoids a turnover and gets a foul, which will put the Sixers over the limit early on. We have 9 minutes to play in this game. Iverson checks back in for Philly. So in theory, Jim, the Warriors should have a huge edge in free throw attempts down the stretch. Rex Walters pulled out of the game alongside is Maurice Cheeks, one of the greatest players in the history of the NBA. May add, very, very underrated. Number 2 all-time stealer behind John Stockton now, Jim, and really the glue of those great Sixer clubs. We have a tendency to remember people like Doc and Moses and even Bobby Jones and Andrew Toney, the Boston Strangler, but in his own quiet way, Maurice Cheeks set the tone for that team.
He was really the glue. He directed the offense, terrific defender. Not only a guy that would make steals, Greg, but he didn't take unnecessary chances. He was a very intelligent basketball player.
And never a peep out of him.
No.
Just put the headsets on before the game.
He was a great
sat by his locker, never said a word and played.
Great decision maker.
Here's Walter, probably Don McClain all the way in, and he dunks. Don McClain, he can be a good scorer. Of course, he was a great scorer at UCLA. Had one good year with the Bullets, but has just not been able to sustain, in large part because of injury.
His second year in the league at Washington averaged over 18 a game.
Sprewell scoring for Derek Cohen. Sprewell just may have a big fourth quarter. Why? He's already scored 10 points in 3.5 minutes in the fourth quarter. He has 27 for the game. He is fronting Stackhouse now. Stackhouse may not rest in the second half. He gets the ball inside. He wants to go on Spree rather stubbornly, but hangs with it and still scores.
See, players with that great ability, Sprewell's one of them. Stackhouse certainly can make something out of nothing. I mean, there wasn't really much there, but Stackhouse with that quick jump to the basket on the second effort got it down.
Joe turns towards the baseline. The jump hook is a miss, but it's swept out of bounds by Lucius Harris. Warriors will retain the possession. 76ers have played 11 guys on their roster. The only guy not to play is backup guard Doug Overton. Bimbo Cole scores on a beautifully executed inbound. I've said it so many times tonight and all year, the Warriors just run their inbounds plays as well as any team in the NBA, and that's a direct statement about the coaching staff.
It's great execution.
They score a very high percentage out of the inbounds. Coleman scores, and he'll go for a three-point play. Big time shot by Derek Coleman.
To amplify your point, ball out of bounds is Spree, but watch Bimbo Coles as they worry about players. You see, you've got players all in a row, 3 of them there. They're worried out here, out here. Bimbo's going to work right inside. And a nice screen by Joe Smith. Bimbo took the shortcut to the hoop.
Coleman finishes off his three-point play. Derek Coleman began the game by missing his first 7 shots. He's made 7 of his next 14. 22 points and 10 rebounds for Coleman. Here's Price. Little one-hander in the lane. Does not get the roll. Rebound to Coleman. Sixers down 3. Rebound to Reyes on the missed shot by Lucius Harris. That may be his last shot. He just cannot get into rhythm tonight and all year. Stackhouse goes down. No. Oh, from his seat. He stripped him. Iverson by Price is fouled. Didn't quite get all the way by Price, but enough to get himself on the line. What a play a moment ago by Jerry Stackhouse, Jim, who slipped to the floor and looked out of the play.
You'll have a good angle right here. He goes down to the floor. Sprewell goes by, and Stackhouse simply reaches out and strips him with the right arm. No foul. He got the ball first before he hit any legs.
That was different. I've seen guys make tackles in the NFL from the ground, but not too many guys make steals in the NBA right on the ground.
He didn't give up.
Mullen back in.
And Sprewell also forgot about him, didn't think that anybody could make that kind of play.
Good numbers for Iverson tonight. Incidentally, the NBA announced the Rookie of the Month for December today. They had co-rookies of the month. Abdur Rahim from Cal for Vancouver, and also Kerry Kittles of New Jersey. But right now, Iverson would win the Rookie of the Year award. It's very early in the year, just 2 months into it, but he has been the top rookie. Here's Joe Smith, who finished number 3 last year in the Rookie of the Year balloting. A wild shot, not there for him. Rebound to Stackhouse. The Sixers can retake the lead here. Stackhouse will try to give him a 2-point lead as he drains another 3. His 4th of the game. Iverson has 4 threes. And the Sixers lead now 98-96 with 6 minutes to go. And Rick Adelman stops it. We're going to have a good final 6 minutes here. The Sixers have lost 13 of their last 14, and they want this one.
Well, Greg, you remember how we finished the third quarter where Iverson forced up a shot, did not find Stackhouse. This time, Stackhouse goes to the exact same spot and knocks down a 3, an assist from Iverson. And watch him look over and say, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. You get the ball to me in that position, and I'm going to knock it down for you.
This could be one of the NBA's best backcourts in time. They're still raw and a little crazy at times, but Iverson only 21 years of age, a rookie, and Jerry Stackhouse in his second year only 22. Warriors cough it up again. Too many turnovers in the second half for the Warriors. They have 16 in the game now, 10 coming in the second half.
That's the first one, though, in this quarter. They had 9 in that third quarter, but Rick Adelman has very big concerns because it looks like the Sixers right now are scoring pretty much at will.
Sixers offensively, Jim, have been a wildly inconsistent bunch. As Sprewell continues to go stark raving mad in the fourth quarter. He has 12 points, and he's not pushed it yet completely, although I think he may start right now. He's only missed 1 shot from the floor. It's 4 of 5. Here's a foul.
Yeah, Bimbo's not going to like this call because he knocked the first one away. And he thought Iverson actually held him as he was going for the ball. Now watch this. Left hand knocks it away. That was a fight for it, and I'll tell you what, it was a 50-50 shot.
The amazing thing about Iverson, he's just a rookie. His team is 8-21. They've lost 13 of their last 14 games. But we have a big crowd tonight. We don't have the official numbers yet, but a lot of people are here. And Johnny Davis basically coaches in a rather anonymous club. He himself, very anonymous coach. They're all here to watch Iverson in large part, Jim. And you can tell the Warriors have raised their energy level to go against this guy and his reputation.
Yeah, that was very evident as Mark Price came in off the bench initially for B.J. Armstrong tonight.
Offensive foul
on Bimbo, I believe.
Yes, he pushed off along the baseline. Back-to-back fouls on Coles, and he now has 4 in the game.
The only saving grace, an offensive foul, is a possession foul. Both teams are over the limit, so they don't go to the line, but it's a moment in the game here where you want to make a defensive stop.
With 5 minutes to play, Mark Price gets up off the Warrior bench. He'll come in momentarily. Derek Coleman missing. Rayos tips the rebound to Joe Smith. Here come the Warriors, trying to carve into a 3-point Sixer lead. Mullen for a tie game. The Sixers have put Mark Davis onto Sprewell now, and that moves Stackhouse onto Mullen. And you would think, in theory, that Mullen would be your trigger guy now.
And that's why Sprewell's been blown by Davis recently, by the way.
Mullen. Coleman still got the shot up as Mullen was slapping at it. Here's Coles. Iverson gets back. Iverson got him low, and Iverson takes the ball away. The Cobra strikes again.
That's why they say he's the quickest from inline to inline with the ball. This time he does it without the ball. Does Iverson get a hand on it? I know this. He made Bimbo think about it and lose concentration, but Bimbo simply lost the ball of his own volition.
There you go. His mere presence creates havoc for the opponents. Timeout, a 20-second timeout called by Johnny Davis of the Sixers. They have the Warriors in clear and present danger tonight. Warriors down 3 with 4 minutes and 31 seconds to go. These are the types of games the Warriors have been winning lately. And these are the type of games that they're going to need to win to qualify for the playoffs. The Warriors have still not been able to break through, Jim, and beat a truly quality team. They've been very good beating the teams they're supposed to beat. And this team at 8-21 would certainly qualify.
Very reminiscent of the game here against Minnesota when the Warriors got down by 5 in that fourth quarter and then came back to win it.
The Warriors led by 16 midway through the second quarter. Lead was down to 7.5. We were tied after 3 quarters. And now Philly has the ball and a 3-point lead with 4.5 minutes to play. Into Coleman. He's a great passer for a big man. He finds the open man. Don McLean has returned tonight to really jack up the Philly offense. McLean has scored all 9 of his points in the fourth quarter. And it's the Sixers now with a lead of 6 points. 4 minutes to play. Sprewell off the Smith pick. Lost the ball, but he did so because Iverson commits a foul.
Sprewell's been trying to take over offensively. He's had success going against a bigger Davis, and Stackhouse has bothered Mullen. But let's watch here. I didn't see much of a foul. I know Spree just simply, he lost it there, and possibly there was a foul on Iverson, but I think the ball may have squirted away regardless of where Iverson was.
Sprewell, 13 of his 30 in this quarter so far. 104 to 100. Sixers are playing Iverson and Stackhouse in the backcourt, a front line of Mark Davis, Don McLean, and Derek Coleman. No Clarence Weatherspoon. Into Coleman, doubled by Mullen, taken away. Oh, foul on Chris Mullen, called by referee Ed Middleton.
Mullen stripped Coleman a couple times tonight, but it usually comes from behind. The official makes this call because clearly a guy 6'11" had the advantage. Mullen was behind him. Derek Coleman gets the call, and I have to agree with the officials.
Derek Coleman still has time to get his career going. 75% free thrower, 8 of 13 from the line tonight, 7 of 23 from the floor. As I mentioned earlier, #1 pick in the draft in 1990, and he has only made 1 All-Star team. As the #1 pick, that's simply not enough. You have to be an All-Star just about every year when you are taken #1.
5 years in New Jersey, as I mentioned, 20 points a game, 11 rebounds, but never played for a good club. You have to wonder, had he gone to another organization, one with a little more stability, could he have responded in a different way?
Good point. Sprewell fouled. Sprewell is responding in precisely the way the Warriors would like to see here, with a dominant fourth quarter.
Nice move again. He just is waltzing around Davis tonight.
And Davis is in the game to defend him. Davis is probably their best perimeter defender among the bigger players, excluding Iverson. Big night for Spree. He may have a triple-double before it's done.
I'm not sure that Davis has ever defended Sprewell, and when you see a guy on the court, sometimes you don't really read a guy's quickness. You think you're with somebody, and all of a sudden, a burst of speed. And Sprewell's the type of guy, like Iverson, like Stackhouse, that can give you a burst of speed, and you're just not there with him.
And we talked about how Iverson's brought the best out of the Warriors. I think most definitely in Sprewell. Sprewell's just had the pedal to the metal all night. Here's Coleman, doubled by Price. Iverson, good Warrior defense. Joe Smith made him miss. Good rotating defense by Mark Price there.
And Iverson made a bad decision. He should have dropped it in to Coleman, because Smith released from Derek.
Pick and roll. Joe Smith and Sprewell. Foul. More free throws coming for Spree. And that is it for Mark Davis. That is personal foul #6. He is disqualified.
And here's the Iverson missed jump shot. Look inside. All he had to do was drop it just over the arms of Joe Smith into Derek Coleman. And believe me, the rotation defense had not come yet. Coleman possibly could have had a dunk.
Mark Davis is taking his time, leaving. Johnny Davis. Well, this is the shocker of the night. He's going to bring in Lucius Harris here as Mark Davis leaves. He just feels he cannot play Clarence Weatherspoon.
2 reasons. A little offense from Harris and possibly a little more quickness defensively. Now, let me ask you, will Harris move over towards Mullen, or will Harris stay on Sprewell and Stackhouse stay on Mullen?
Man, whoever he's guarding, that guy should go. Harris has just had a difficult time tonight, and all year they just feel as though Witherspoon cannot match up. Sprewell, 35 points, 18 in the fourth quarter, and we have 3 minutes to go in this quarter. Philly with the ball and a 1-point lead. It's going into Coleman. No, not yet. McLean out to Iverson. Now it's going into Coleman, but Coleman catches it 15 feet away. They doubled him. Iverson, a 3-point goal. Rebound, Joe.
That's what I'm talking about. Who's your go-to guy in Philadelphia?
Number 3. It's Allen Iverson. He's going to take the shots.
Stackhouse on spree.
Kind of. Well, he missed that one. Rebound, Don McLean. Big miss by Sprewell. 2 minutes and 18 seconds remain.
Big possession.
Stackhouse defended by Sprewell. Stackhouse takes him. Great Warrior help defense. Joe Smith and Rayos got in the air and made a nice play. Mark Price tying the game with a 3. Nope. Oh, went off the backboard. And then off the 24-second clock, dead ball rebound. That ball almost ricocheted off the clock. It would not have counted. The moment it touched the 24, it's a dead ball to Philly. 1 minute, 57 seconds to go.
Sprewell 18 this quarter. He's dominated offensively. Mark Price is not shy shooting the ball tonight. He is looking to be aggressive. I like the last shot. Just didn't go for him.
Only Joe Smith and Bimbo Coles have scored beside Spree in the quarter. Iverson. Nope, another big board. This one by Rayos. The Warriors are coming up with defensive stops, but they've not been able to score. Price all the way in. No, but only on the line for 2. Joe Smith just now walking up the floor. I think he got hit either on the chest or maybe got in the earring. Yeah, he's still pulling at his ear. That pierced ear with the earring in it causing him problem. Let's see if somebody grabbed his ear here. Oh, right there.
Yeah, the left arm of Iverson.
Coleman or Iverson?
Iverson.
One of the 2.
Iverson. Mark Price aggressively going to the basket. You know, he challenged 3 defenders then. It doesn't bother him to come off the bench. He says, I'm just going to make him pay the price, so to speak.
Well, Rick Adelman has been toying with this idea for some time. Price coming off the bench tonight for the first time. And by doing it, it's much easier to play Price down the stretch in the rotation. Price gives the Warriors a 1-point lead with 1 minute and 38 seconds to go. Arizona Wildcats took care of Cal last night, although it was a great game. Their sensational freshman Mike Bibby, the son of Henry Bibby. It'll be on display tomorrow. Join us at 3 o'clock when the Stanford Cardinal, only 1 loss this year, 8-1. They'll be inside the McKale Center. Warriors 106, the Philadelphia 76ers 105. Big crowd inside the San Jose Arena tonight. 17,715. About 3,000 more than the Warriors have been averaging all year, and they are into it. They've had a good one to get into. Lucius Harris to Jerry Stackhouse for a 3, his 5th 3 of the game. And the 76ers have gunned in 13 3-pointers tonight. 5 by Stackhouse, 4 by Iverson. And they lead 108-106. 1:15 to play. Price to O's. Into the corner to Mullen. Shot clock at 10. Price for a tie game. Or pardon me, the lead. The Warriors are down 2 as he missed that shot. Rebound off the Warriors. Sixer ball.
Down by 2, you've got a couple of possessions left. You don't want to give up a foul and let them beat you on the line the easy way right now. Not just yet. Play real good defense on this possession.
Although Iverson is not a very good free throw shooter. Here he goes against Price into Coleman. The Warriors doubled him with Mullen. Coleman goes anyway. Blocked. Mullen the save. Coleman's not up yet. 5 on 4. Mullen down the lane up behind the backer of Rose. What a play by Mullen!
And a gutsy one. Oh, man.
40 seconds to go. Tied at 108. Into Coleman again. Doubled by Mullen again. Harris. Oh, touched it, but could not take it. Oh, Leon Wood saying it is Warrior ball. Wasn't that touched by Rayos?
Not at all.
Apparently not. It went right through O's hands and out of bounds. Warrior ball with 33 seconds to go. Mullen a moment ago with another brilliant play tonight. What a pass. and an assist to Rayos. This guy's into it tonight, holding a Terry Glenn New England Patriot jersey. He's set for the Patriots at home this weekend for the first time since the late 70s, Jim. What great action on both ends of the floor.
It's been that way all night. Mullen with a very risky pass. Remember, Rayos just joined this club this year. Would he be ready for that type of pass? Derek Coleman, once again, goes in, and I thought he got fouled on the play. They called it a block, but I thought Joe Smith was all over him. Does Rayos touch the ball? Coming right at you. You be the judge. Looked like it was partially deflected by his left hand.
And you could see slump after the ball went out of bounds in dejection, but he got the call. It is Warrior basketball. Chris Mullen, nearly a triple-double. Likewise for Latrell Sprewell. The Warriors 27 assists tonight, 16 by those two. Well, here we go. Tied at 108 with that referee miscalled a moment ago. It is the Warriors' ball and not Philadelphia's. Fresh shot clock.
Here's the thing. Philadelphia could get the last shot of the game, so it would be important for the Warriors to put a point or two on the board.
Yeah, I'd say it'd be important. Could win or lose the game. 20 seconds to go. Sprewell, no. Airballed it. Philly, are they going to call a timeout or no? Johnny Davis says, come across. Let's stop it here. 11.5 seconds to go. The Sixers will have the basketball and a chance to win the game. Latrell Sprewell has had a huge fourth quarter, but he has missed his last two shots. Scored 18 points, and in scoring the first 18, missed only one shot. But he's missed the last two, the last one. An air ball on the drive, well defended by the 76ers, Jerry Stackhouse. Although Sprewell had him beat at the rim, Jim just missed the shot.
Yeah, I thought that was one of the easier shots and the easier looks that Sprewell has had all night, because he really cleared by Stackhouse. McClain didn't go up to try to block it. Derek Coleman is a big shot blocker inside. McClain just stayed near the basket, and Sprewell just simply pulled the string on it, came up a little bit short. I also thought it was a little early in the offense.
Johnny Davis has left himself no timeouts to play. Ed Badger, gentleman with the brown suit on the right side of your screen, one of the top assistants, been in the league for 40 years as a coach and scout, assisting Johnny Davis this first year. If you're the Warriors and you're wondering what Philly might be doing, well, you would have to think, Jim, it's going to go into Derek Coleman on the right block and maybe back outside. Either that or Allen Iverson just takes someone all the way to the basket, and we see how the Warriors play it, because with his quickness, he's going to have to get a double team going to the basket.
Well, I'll tell you what the advantage is to go into Derek Coleman. He did not get the call last time. He was pleading his case at the other end after the turnover that actually got knocked out by Rayos. So they'll be looking to give him the call. When Joe Smith was all over his arm, he did not get it. Clearly the ball is going to go to Iverson's hands. It has all year. But whose hands will it finally end up in? The Warriors have been double teaming Coleman. Last time he shied away from it and tried to score inside.
They've been double teaming with Chris Mullen. Coleman's going to inbound the ball. And oftentimes the guy that inbounds it is the most dangerous.
They've got plenty of time, 12 seconds nearly.
It goes to McClain. They hand it off to Iverson. He's coming near Coleman's way. Iverson into Coleman, 5 seconds. Out to Lucius Harris, of all people, he missed. Coleman back up. It is no good. We are going to overtime.
And that would have counted. That ball hit the glass and rattled the rim.
I can't believe they diagrammed the play for Lucius Harris. Well, he's been Philly's most disappointing player all year. He's not done a thing all night, but it was Coleman getting it out of the quick double, Jim, and out to Lucius Harris.
Yeah, it wasn't diagrammed that way. It just happened to work out that way. Coleman found the open man. Stackhouse went down the middle, and it just cleared it out. And Harris actually shot it straight. Look at this one, though. That ball was down, around, and out. And you can see clearly it was within time.
And again, there's no surprise here. The Warriors have been doubling this play all night with Mullen. You knew they were going to leave Lucius Harris open, and Coleman back out to Harris. Boy, Coleman almost made that second shot. You know, I'm glad. We get 5 more minutes of Allen Iverson, Latrell Sprewell, and a terrific basketball game. With Jim Barnett, Greg Papa back inside the San Jose Arena for Derek Coleman of the 76ers, their first overtime of the year. The Warriors are 0-2 so far this year in overtimes, playing number 3. Sixers begin the overtime with Iverson, of course, at point guard. Jerry Stackhouse at the big guard of front line of, again, Lucius Harris. Don McClain has played very well in the fourth quarter, and Derek Coleman plays center. Here's Iverson, the drop from Stackhouse, and Philly scores the first 2 points of the overtime.
Well, you were surprised at the way they diagrammed the last play. How about Stackhouse jumping at the center jump and winning the tip? It wasn't Coleman. It wasn't a bigger guy.
Oh, Rayos. The key to this overtime now is for the Warriors to get back into an offensive rhythm. Sprewell carried them the first 10 minutes or so of the fourth quarter. Then he missed his last 2 shots and cooled off. Now they've got to get back to 5-on-5 team basketball. Can the Warriors do it? Here's Lucius Harris. He keeps firing. Boy, you got to love Johnny Davis trying to build this guy's confidence up. He knows he needs him. They gave him a 7-year contract, but he's 1 for 4 tonight, and he's had a very poor first year in Philly. And if you have a poor first year in Philly, Jim, sometimes you don't get a second year. Those fans will just barbecue you. Sprewell, no. Coleman, the rebound, and a foul on the Warriors. Good, tough rebound by Derek Coleman.
And a very long shot by Latrell Sprewell.
Yes, it was.
I mean, really long. Probably not the one Rick Adelman was looking for.
Tied at 110. We are a minute 20 into the first overtime. Stackhouse. He has made 5 3-pointers tonight. The 76ers have made 13 of 25 beyond the line. Warriors just 5 of 17.
That just kept them in the game. That combined with the turnovers by the Warriors in the second half.
Price.
That's good defense.
Blocked by Iverson. Shot clock at 7, still time. Mullen. Sprewell. 4 on the clock. The pull up. Big shot. Had to have it.
Under control.
112, 110. Warriors. Warriors playing Price and Sprewell. Mullen, O's, and Smith. Coleman fronted by Joe. Lucius Harris can't get it in. Iverson can. Mullen doubles. Harris rotates at Stackhouse. McClain lines it up. No. Rebound Price.
Looked like McClain aimed that ball. He's so good when he doesn't even think about it and just releases quickly.
Joe Smith. Warriors by 4. Johnny Davis going to stop this game right here and now. Timeout. Sixers. 2.5 away from a 12th Warrior win this season. 108. It was tied at 110. And then the Warriors got back-to-back baskets from Sprewell and Joe.
Sprewell pulls up just inside that free throw line. A couple of seconds left on the shot clock. Now, how about this? After McClain missed at the other end from 3-point range, Joe Smith knocks down that 2-pointer over the outstretched arms of Derek Coleman, and in frustration, Don McClain threw the ball down in disgust, and 2 chests came together as they went to the timeout. Warriors a 4-point lead, which is pretty huge at this juncture.
We have a problem with the 24-second clock, so we'll pause momentarily here. And they're going to re-inbound the ball and do it all over again. They'll reset the clock to 24 and put the game clock back to 2 minutes and 29 seconds. Johnny Davis has made a change here. He has pulled Lucius Harris off the floor, and he has gone to Rex Walters. Walters is a shooter. If the Warriors doubled off of Walters with Mullen like they might do right here, there he goes. Oh, good rotating defense. Sprewell back on him, but open is Stackhouse for a 3. No. Walters the rebound. Price knocked it away. McClain picks it up and puts it in the basket. We have a 2-point game. Well, he's played well tonight, Don McClain. Maybe his best game as a Sixer.
Yeah, only his 8th game of the season. Just has had a lot of problems physically.
There's Price. He lost Iverson and nailed the shot. You know he loves that.
Oh, and he looked right at him. He didn't talk any trash. but his eyes did.
And he held a shooting hand out there like he was posing for a picture. And he wanted Iverson to see it. A minute and a half to go in the overtime. Into Coleman eventually, but Joe's going to make it hard. Coleman catches it much deeper than he would have liked. Bad pass by Coleman. Iverson's got a chuck here. Too strong. Sprewell the rebound. Sprewell has 10 boards. Here's Sprewell to Mullen. Mullen scores!
His first points of the second half.
1:19 to go. Sprewell needs one more assist for a triple-double. Mullen needs one more rebound for his triple-double. What a basket by Don McLean! He just stormed the baseline. 1:18, 1:14 Warriors. Price across midcourt, and he pulls it back. Timeout. He almost lost the ball as he went up. The ball began to squirt out of his hands. 63 seconds to go in this first overtime. Watch this basket by the All-American Pie. Did he go out of bounds?
Oh,
did he go out of bounds?
Way out of bounds.
His entire foot.
I was going to say, I didn't think that Ray O's cut off the baseline, but clearly Don McLean abused the baseline, but still the Warriors have the 4-point lead. 1:03 left.
A thoroughly enjoyable game tonight between the Warriors and the Sixers of Allen Iverson, and Mark Price has really gotten into it. After a basket a moment ago, Mark Price will leave the hand out there for a moment to Allen Iverson. Earlier in the game, Mark Price was heard strolling to the bench after a play. Why is that little punk talking to me? Talking about Allen Iverson. Iverson has brought out the best in the Warriors tonight. Huge numbers for so many. Don McLean a moment ago, a huge basket. He has scored 13 in the fourth quarter in overtime. Philly still has a shot, but Warriors up 4 with the ball. 53% shooting for the Warriors, 31 assists on their 45 baskets. But they need a 46th. Shot clock at 8. Joe Smith. Sprewell a 3. No, bad shot. Quick pop off a 3. Play never materialized. Sixers down 4 with the ball. 40 seconds to go. Coleman gets out of the block. Now they go into McLean. A 1-foot runner. Sprewell, 11 rebounds, 37 points, 9 assists. What a monster. And he's going to be on the line here. Fouled before he could go all the way to the goal. Oh, they're going to like this one. Sprewell's going to get a standing O.
Well, he has cleared the last 2 misses by the Sixers. I mean, this, you know, we just saw Dan Belwamany talk about defensive rebounding, blocking out contact and go aggressively to the ball. That's what you call aggressive to the ball.
Sprewell's not going to the line. They fouled him before he got into the active shooting, they say. B.J. Armstrong going to come in for ball handling and free throwing. Ray O's a big ovation. 21 solid minutes tonight, 5 rebounds. 24 seconds to go. Price to Sprewell, back to Price. Philly has to foul. They don't get to Price. Over to Mullen, to B.J. Oh, he almost lost the ball between his legs. And they foul B.J. Armstrong with 12.6 seconds to go. Johnny Davis's team, having lost 13 of their last 14. They began the year strongly, 7-8 in November, but since the calendar turned to December, they have fallen apart. They have played well enough to win tonight, but it may end up that the Warriors played a little bit better. B.J. Armstrong in his first starting role of the year, looking to finish it off. 5-point Warrior lead. Mullen, 1 rebound away from his 4th career triple-double. Sprewell 1 assist away from a triple-double. Joe Smith 28 points, 11 rebounds. Price 18 off the bench. B.J. Armstrong 2 critical free throws. The Warriors have a 6-point lead. 12.5 seconds remain. One problem, Jim, is that Philadelphia has made 13 three-pointers tonight. So if they could make a 3 right here, they could make Adelman, Higgins, Irvin, Wetzel sweat it out a little bit more.
You know, it's interesting because you certainly don't want to foul a guy behind the three-point line, give him 3 free throws. Do you take a gamble and foul somebody when they catch the ball with only a second off the clock and give up 2 points and then go back with a 4-point lead, then let them foul you? It's interesting how that may play out, not only this year, but in the years to come with a 3-point threat there. I say play it straight and play good defense and make them earn it.
I agree with you. Charlotte will be in on Monday, Jim, and Vancouver on Wednesday. We'll have each of the next 2 for you on Sports Channel. The Grizzlies actually on Wednesday will be the first half of a home-and-home. The Warriors will be at General Motors Place on Thursday night to play the Grizzlies again, and we'll have that game for you on Thursday at 7 o'clock.
And the Charlotte Hornets, one of 9 teams over 500 in the Eastern Conference.
It's going to be tough to make the playoffs in the East.
Yeah, as opposed to the West and the number of teams below 500.
Only 5 teams in the West are above 500. The rest are below, including the Warriors. Warriors, a record of 11-18. If the Warriors win this game, though, they will go to 12-18, and they will get their home record at 500. At 8-8. Remember, the Warriors began the year very poorly here in San Jose. Iverson, 26 points in total tonight. But Sprewell and Mullen have outnumbered him, and the Warriors have a 6-point lead. Philadelphia has to get a 3-pointer here. They won't even get a shot up. Joe Smith steals the inbound. Sprewell. Oh, what a way to go for 39! Warriors up 8, and that will end the game. The Warriors will win it in overtime. They had 2 bitter overtime losses in back-to-back games earlier this year. Mullen's got the triple-double. He got the 10th rebound before the buzzer sounded. Oh, he loves it. Mullen's 4th career triple-double. The Warriors have won 4 of their last 5 and are now 12-18 overall. Latrell Sprewell provides Rick Adelman the exclamation point with the capper. Points number 38 and 39. Let's head back to the studios and check in with Glenn Kuiper.